Hello everyone, welcome to the Friday class. Last class we discussed method to enjoy life of a lucky and lovely star. The Murli was from 18th of July 1972. Baba said only those who celebrate finishing weaknesses are fast effort makers. Practical form of those being ever ready is that they'll be ever happy. No matter what type of paper comes, someone who is fully clear of their exit won't create attachments. Very little time remains for souls who are going to claim their inheritance, number-wise, from you elevated souls. The speed of time is moving very fast. Baba also asked a question. Are you those who finish the distress of others, or are you those who are distressed yourselves? He reminded us of performing every action while being in remembrance. We also talked about lock. Why is a lock put on your consciousness? You forget your luck, hence a lock is applied, Baba said. If you look at your luck, then there can never be a lock. Look at your form and intoxication of every moment. We have to look where is it coming from? Happiness of the role or of the soul. And we had to give a thought on the method to remove the weakness. So now I would like to invite all my fellow learners to share their reflections, and then we can invite Sister.
After awareness, these thoughts were simply observed. And while doing the service, these thoughts were coming and these thoughts were simply observed. And it became quite clear that the discomfort was not because of the service, the kind of service, but because of the sum of the identities that were being challenged of the character. And after the service was done, the inner noise was much more the first day, and the second day the service was the same, but inner noise was much less because of constantly observing the thoughts as the invisible actor and keeping the character separate from the actor. So what I realized, what the character realized was that you can put yourself in such situations or to expose heads of Ravan, to expose different heads of Ravan. Just consciously put yourself into such situations as to expose different heads of Ravan and different identities, so that you can work on them consciously and to remove them. So it was realized that the lawn was just not getting cleaned outside, but something was getting cleaned inside too. And second quick realization was when the character was driving back and the body was in a lot of pain because of the tiredness and everything. So just putting consciously, the intellect was put consciously in the soul world, and it was realized that the body was recharged. The soul was getting recharged and the body followed. And all the tiredness was not there because lightness and happiness started to flow naturally. These were the two realizations that invisible actor awareness can help you to get rid of identities, false identities, and energy also returned. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Not
Om
there
Shanti.
is, it is observed that the going to house, going to experience. Earlier, it was like most many times postponing, like sister highlighted in last class also, that we will do after that, after this work, after now it has improved in last 2 3 days. interest has increased to go to house and to stay there for uh, comparatively longer time. Now it is not like pushing is not there now. It is coming from interest. That is the improvement. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. Uh, I would like to invite Sister now, and we'll proceed with today's class. Thank you.
It's very nice to join the discussions. Let's start with taking an inner jump, create this inner shift. We come into the life of an actor, actor's home, actor's family. From the beginning to the end, an actor remains 100% separate from his role. If the actor is sensible, then he is never confused with the role. He never mixes his reality with the role. Now the invisible actor is in his home, and here he is not an actor, he is a resident of God's home. His awareness is in this dimension of light, region of God. We take a step further. We are not only aware, but now active in this region of light, engaging in this voiceless, peaceful, changeless dimension. The invisible emperor has full rights in this home of God. It is also his home. He is immortal, eternal, and all his relations are eternal, joyful relations. Engaging with light, not just observing there is light all around, but now we are looking at the details. We are observing our environment. This is the unlimited red sky, right in front of the invisible emperor is the Supreme Spirit. The Supreme Spirit is full of love, full of wisdom, joy. How does this present, this being who is present right in front of the invisible emperor, how does his presence feel like? There is no one else. It is only the company of Supreme Spirit. One is feeling very lucky, at the same time worthy to be in this company, deserving. The invisible emperor is deserving. He has full rights of this company. It is not by chance that it is not accidentally he has access to this company. The invisible point, he has full rights. He is the friend of God. God Himself is his companion, his friend. Their relationship is very simple, no complications. At all levels, there is positivity, honesty, good wishes. Supreme Spirit is the well wisher of this invisible point. They enjoy each other's company. They are close friends. There is active engagement with the Supreme Spirit. There is no reason for the invisible point to go into the story and start mixing his life with the role. If there is mixing, this whole experience is blocked. Company of Supreme Spirit is blocked. Region of light, a changeless dimension. We can know about it, but as if coming here gets blocked. The role with which the invisible point is associated with Ananya has a guaranteed end. Guaranteed death. It is part of the story. That whole role is temporary. Invisible point is associated with a temporary role. All the roles are temporary. That is why there is no reason to mix life with that role. If there is no mixing, this unlimited sky, this region of light remains accessible because it is accessible only for the invisible actor. This region is the home of actors. Cartoons cannot come here. Cartoons cannot experience the home of actors. Cartoons cannot enter the world of God. World of God, company of God is reserved for the invisible lucky stars. They are positive stars. They see the story with a lot of positivity. The mindset is positive. All the roles, even the jokers, even the villain in the story, they have value in the story. They have some contribution in the story. Just how a diamond becomes diamond under pressure. So we see the pressure with positivity, we see the diamond with positivity, the whole process, the whole story. is a good story. It is because of the villain that the hero gets recognized. Story as a story is a perfect story, accurate story. Thank you. Yes, hello and welcome. So, is there anyone whom we have missed hearing from? Anyone who would like to share? What has what has been your program? So last Friday we were discussing about Baba was talking about a program to finish weaknesses. Any programs? Maybe Sushma, are you available to come in sound?
हाँ दीदी, meaning I was not able to do much of it, but yes, the practice has got better. Previously, it was very difficult for me to watch myself. I think now it has become easier for me to detach myself and watch uh, all the emotions which is running on my mind. Um, yeah, but I think program or schedule जो बाबा ने बनाने he asked us to do, I was not able to do it.
Or anyone else would like to add to this? We can start with the program from today, but anyone who can share last week's experience.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
I have come to realization that my son is writing exam. So I have listening to your last week's class and your Prayog class. I realized that I have become so. I am actually very self-centered. That I don't think about any other child of that age who must be writing exam and must be going through a lot and not having anybody to give support. My father had gone through a stroke, so but my father is in a better position than many people who would have actually had suffered such an event. So I was thinking that everything is centered around mind. That mind has to be good, and that is how I am programmed. During Amrit Vela, when I'm getting up, I'm not thinking about seva or about anything outside my inner circle. And when I get up, it is even more worse, where I think that I am helplessly thinking about people who are very, very close to me. How to come out of it?
Good observation. Yes. Someone else was speaking?
Om Shanti. My last week's practice was whenever any emotion, feeling, questions, but whichever came up, the practice was just to say to self that, say the invisible witness is to say that Soumya is a story. and it has an end. It is a storybook, and the book will close. And that helped a lot. Yes. The questions didn't arise, and everything stopped in a second. And yeah, felt very light with this practice. Worth not a penny, and it's a storybook. So the Ravan reduced there. The head was. It was. I saw that it shrunk, and the experience of the home that got better.
Shakti Devi. Just I want to share the 2 3 days before that practice, like take a high jump and just be there. So for that, 2 days, 3 days back, so I have one. Uh, means one dog is there. Mother-in-law is keeping. So that dog 8 month old, and then it's making peace inside that house. So I started to train him and started to take him out or somewhere like and I was telling them also to please cooperate me also to means teach him the good lessons. And then I when I was taking him out, so he ran and he made peace inside only. So I it was that time means we were doing the practice and like that 9 or 10 times to high jump and be there for some time. But that time it became like I just took that his belt and I just bit him. So I realized it and I started to see the changes in my body. And then I realized just I mean the part of that up up directions is that constricted and stomach and how muscles pulled in means all the bodies. Just I was out of the body just like that, and I can see the body changes in means anger how it's change full body means out muscles and nerves. I can see that and I felt it. So means this practice has done a lot for me. I can see that. Thank you.
Shanti ji, am I audible?
Yes.
Uh, just sharing the teaching we gathered from past classes, that of me time, thought pattern, Mahadani, and all. Uh, After discussing that, I think that me time awareness increase more. Like earlier, we usually go for lunch, breakfast. Now, while we are going for that, the consciousness is there that this is a me time. Or if we have a break in between the office time, then we earlier used to go just out and relax. And now the consciousness changes to that me time. It's a me time. Use in the best possible way, or switch on the fan and move high and high with the paras buddhi. Like the vision you have given in a past class, that paras buddhi is also like a fan and the feather is moving above. So that vision and that me time helped me a lot in saving my time and use the time in best possible way. Thank you.
It's very well known. Abhay, why?
Uh, Shanti. I think the one thing that has been working good with me is whenever the mind gets certain thoughts of maybe future or somewhere Ravan uses it, I just you know still go to Baba's room and counsel myself. Just feed the program into the mind that who is looking after you, whose company am I into, who is giving me power and who is looking after me. So when that faith and the intellect accepts the faith in Baba, then we can become fearless. And the idea is not to gain something from Brahma, but it's like there's a the more relationship we develop with Baba, the more easy it is to, renounce every other thing. So that helps me become more fearless.
So finally, we come to Poland. Yes.
Om Shanti, sister. I did not attend Sunday's class, but later on I have heard it and started checking thought patterns. It was definitely there, and in everyday situations, it was there. Same thoughts were repeating again and again. And then I introduced that Mahadani, that I don't need anything full, invisible princess full. It helped a lot because the same situation was repeating every day and thoughts were coming. And the other thing was, after a few days, I was doing it, but after a few days, as you say, the high drama came again and some illness was diagnosed. Then I realized that all the thoughts were on that side only. I could not help it, but for a few days, I was totally caught up. I will try to do it again. Thank you.
But it is very courageous for us to even notice where we get caught up, and this was not even there before. We couldn't even realize how caught up we are, but it is a huge benefit now to even see where we are getting caught up, how much time it is taking to come out of certain thought patterns, certain situations. So this is very relevant in the journey. It was just few one realization that happened, and others can add to this. But what was seen that was just observing the most of the bondages that one has at this time. What is their seed? No? What is their, that is a funny start, but right now when we give a when we in these discussions and in courses or in classes, we understand that seed of any bondage is confusion and crossing the line and thinking this is my world. So this is very subconscious. We never chose. It is not that I am choosing that this is my world, or I'm repeating this thought, and then we create bondages. So we understand the psychology behind it, of why we came into bondages. We understand the psychology, but at a very practical level, it is as if one is not has no options, no choices. It is just in a downward spiral, and we are just going further down. Even after knowledge, that sort of life can continue. And just was realizing that all the false identities, or mainly the image of the role that we have, which we usually say my image, my how I am, basically how the role is, how I describe Ananya, in this case. That primarily, majority of that is, in majority of the cases, it is just what people said or how the society saw you, saw the role. And in that state of being unconscious, all we do is, all the ego does is just grab those labels. So I was just realizing that all the false identities, actually, it is just grabbed. It is not even, creating would also not be the right word, because just when a child is, and everyone can share if this is resonating with them, but when a child is born, first thing that the society, the environment around the child does is, he or she is like the father, is like the mother. So we start in the conversations of the parents, conversation with any family member. All that we talk about is how the child, it is like his father, is like his mother, and that is like the first. He hasn't even done anything. There is not much, but maybe just by the external, appearance, that is what the society starts saying. And then behaviors, as the child is growing up, some actions are performed, and he is more like his grandparent side or this side, father's paternal side or maternal side. That is just a label, the vision of the society. She is like this, he is like that. And then you go to the school, and some actions are performed, and the teacher automatically we start putting, the whole society is in a way, automatically we start putting people into boxes. And so someone who is talkative, as if it is a negative thing. If someone is talking a lot, there is an understanding that this is negative. Someone who is quiet, even that is seen as negative. And so if a child is too quiet, the teacher will say, "You're too quiet." If he's too talkative, so as if we are just drawing some standards, and each one has their own standard. But mainly there is a standard of the society, and based on that standard, society is ruled by Ravan, right? It is ruled by ego. So ego-based standards, and we are um, putting people into boxes based on those standards. And it is all ego from the start to end. It is all ego-based standards. There is no, there is nothing, there is no morality in those standards, even though they may appear quite moral, but there is no morality. It is just ego-based standards. So those first sort of vision and the labels that a child gets, he himself starts to identify, the father is like this, I'm like the father. He may not even be like that, because he hasn't been given a choice to exercise, freedom. There is no, it is not that someone is given 10 years and then we make an opinion about them. They say something, they do something, immediately we form an opinion. They are like this, they're like this. And so this vision, for a certain time, we carry this vision, and that is how we start to see the role. So it is not very much like a choice of how I'm creating bondages. Example, there can be three siblings, and one brother has two sisters, one elder sister and one younger sister, and the he loves both the sisters. They are all close to each other, but one of them one sister stays in abroad, and so naturally everyone will call that sister. She will call family. And so this brother, every time he calls his sister, people start to say, he's so close to he's so attached to his sister, he cannot live without her. They miss each other so much. And if we see the circumstance, this is quite it is quite understandable. If someone is abroad, you obviously you are going to call them or they will call you. But just those statements, the brother can feel, yes, I am very close to this one, and she can feel, oh yes, he is very close to me. And it is mainly grabbing the statements, grabbing the image that the society is giving you. And now, one way to check what sort of ego has the soul created is to just um, think of what have you been listening from the society, what have you been entertaining about the role, because we never question, what someone now, maybe now we question after knowledge or after growing to a certain point at a certain age. But majority, 99%, we had never questioned, those statements, and we don't need to question those statements because either ways, it is all ego. Even the good statements, the bad statements, they're all based on ego, rooted in ego. But just a nice way to see the image that I have about me, about the role. It comes from what have you heard about the role? What have people been telling you? You are this way. So that gives us a good picture of the where the false identities are. If there are three siblings, the elder one naturally gets the vision that she's the responsible one or he is the responsible one. It's just the vision. It is they may not be responsible. They may not want to be responsible. But from a young age, the one who is elder is seen in a certain way. And so they tend to become that. And same, it is for male and females, it's the same. The vision that we have for a male, with that vision makes the soul grab those labels and become like that. So, anyways, that was a observation, and I felt in my case that just going back to what are the statements, what is the image that you have got the most, you have received it, you've accepted it, that makes it easier to spot where the ego is, where the false identities are. So anyone would like to? Yes.
Yeah, sister, I have a question. Don't we start behaving according to those labels?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That
Yes.
I
Yeah.
the way we give the course, we sort of think we do something first and then we get a label. But I was just realizing to a certain extent, maybe it's first the label and then ego grabs it and then it becomes part of the personality. Because even a child who is just 1 month old, people already start saying he's like his father, she's like his mother already, And so the ego is listening, the soul is also there, ego is listening. And even when a child cannot speak, it is as if that vision starts to influence their behavior. And the vision, basis of the vision first is the looks, looks. So sometimes people will also say, she looks like her dadi, he looks like his nanaji, and that vision starts to somewhere, because the soul is so unconscious that it is not choosing a false identities, but it is like grabbing everything that this old world is offering. So yeah.
Oh, Shanti Didi, like what you have explained is it's so true because a doll is not the problem, only the image is the problem for which every time Ravan want to protect that. So, as you explained between the siblings, but as you said, from the time we are born, like certainly the image is created that she is so good, that she's very caring, and this gets carry forwarded not only till studies or job, even after marriage you have that underlying attitude, okay, I'm very good towards so and so, like family and other things. So here the realization was the homework which you gave. Just check why you have problem with any role. So even after taking the knowledge and you're practicing, but still there was such a subtle thing which was recognized because of this image only. The problem was the image, because in that particular role, like you have the knowledge, you're saying yes, that role is not role, is a soul which is very pure, everything, like you're using that, and in some situations it works, but every time the same image problem was it just came up. So the problem is that the environment and everything, the upbringing, where you were called, you are so good, you're so good, and this made a confusion, uh, to the soul that no, you are this, even after listening to classes, practices. So I think that is something, it just goes in the attitude also, because when we say attitude, it's somewhere, it's just underlying there. But you have to just pull it up and just see what exactly it was. And when that was observed, then it becomes so ridiculous that there was nothing but this small thing, but it had created so much of havoc. And every time, like when you get connected to that role, and your time and your thoughts are getting wasted. So it's really, the problem is that not the doll but the image only. And the recent thing was that I was not able to figure it out, but that is the problem actually. So I think when we realize it, then as Baba says, through realization there is liberation. So once if we realize it, I think we are just liberated. So here the soul tried to use for 1 week. The whole consciousness was that um, he is a pure soul, nothing more than that, but with more consciousness, not just in some situations where you're facing problem, or in some situations where you're forgetting that it's a soul, not the role. So when try to um, apply that and made the practice also little more, 2 hours practice. For 2 hours, this will be the consciousness. Like have taken like invisible actor, then invisible guest, then the other one, the invisible like avatar. So the avatar had helped a lot, because when we say avatar, like we are on a mission, we are not forgetting why we are here. And also on the 3 points, when we reflect who am I, and whom I belong to, and what is my eternal truth, like, and what I am here to do. So these things helped to realize, and yeah, to get liberated from that underlying attitude, what was there actually, which was causing problem for the soul here. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to highlight that doll and is never the problem. It's just the image, that the image, the vision And sometimes it is, there may be more who experience this, that you sort of identify that there is a negative this sanskar that you want to change, and it's a negative sanskar you want to change. But the that sanskar can be a visible one. It comes in your behavior, it comes in your action, and there is full determination, there is full acknowledgement of that sanskar, and there is full determination to get rid of it. But the vision that others have, uh, they see you that this he is like this, he is like this, and that vision itself makes it so, because the soul is already in bondages, the soul already is not fully behind the line, it is like coming and going, so the power is not there. And that vision that people hold of you, the society holds of you, um, of you in the sense of doll, and that itself is so, it is demoralizing, but it makes it so difficult to step out, having the knowledge, having the determination, having full enthusiasm, but it makes it so difficult. And was just this is where Baba's intervention is so relevant, because it is only his vision that is never, his vision is never defining me by the role, but his vision is of truth. So this is the war, vision of falsehood, vision that feels very familiar but is working against me. It doesn't do any good to me. And then there is the vision of truth, there is the vision of God. Sometimes it is so hard to accept that, because there is so much ego, that it almost seems like Baba is talking about good things and he's just affirming good things, but maybe we are not that good, because the role is trying to be good. But his vision is so consistent and so clear and clean. It is like a laser, laser beam, and it is only for the soul. And so the more we hold on to that vision, it becomes easier to go beyond the influence of the vision of others, and their vision is always with the role. So it immense value in seeing and accepting how God sees the soul. That is the main service that God is doing for the soul, and this is the service that soul does for the entire family. Everyone has weaknesses, everyone is trying to come out of those weaknesses, especially in Brahmin gatherings and Brahmin family. But it is the vision. If I have to be of service, then I have to have the vision of the soul, like how Baba has his consistent vision for the soul. Soul has to offer that vision, ignore the role, so much so that it may be hard, but nothing should come between that. Just ignore the role, ignore the role. Only the soul, the beauty of the soul, and staying stubborn in that uh, does service, actually does service. But it is very easy to just hype up the role. So yeah, the seed of all those bondages. And because ego, this is an ego-based society, so the rule is that majority is always right. We always give this example that if you come out of a train station and you don't know where the exit is, you just go with where majority of the people are going, in the hope that they know where they are going, but they may not be knowing where they are going. Some people have done an experiment online, and what they do is that three or four people just stand somewhere and they start looking at a tower, or they start pointing somewhere, and after 5 minutes 100 people stand there and they start pointing somewhere, in that same direction. They don't know what's there. But it's just that ego-based society has this rule. Majority is right. And nobody wants to be left out of what the majority is doing, where the majority is going. But Baba's method and Baba's way is walk alone, walk alone, and stay loyal to that path. It may not have many people, it may not have any sort of external luxury, but it is the right path. So the soul has to come out of those ego-based constructs and stay in the vision of Baba, but also offer that vision of Baba for everyone, because that is the main help. If we offer the vision of role, then we are just supporting Ravan, Ravan in others, Ravan in us, and that itself is the biggest disservice. So Baba ignores the role, ignores Ravan, but he rests his vision on the soul. So this is what will take each one out of bondages. So Neha Ben, we'll hear from Neha Ben, and then we'll read a small passage. I didn't realize time, but yeah, really, I have some time. We'll read the passage. Neha, yeah.
Yeah, Om Shanti. This thing that you had mentioned about this image about role, that comes from what people have been telling about this role. So just this thought came that uh, yeah, sorry. So just this thought was coming that it is very, very true, because I mean, even like a simple quality of somebody, it's like it's just a very nice quality of someone, maybe of, like following what elders say and you're doing it, like an obedience. It's a great quality, but as you are growing up and everybody is has started putting a label around it, that is so obedient, so obedient, so obedient. Maybe, you were not even aware of that you are obedient or something. You're just doing it, that yes, what elders say, I must do it. Very innocently you're doing it and you like to do that. But as people, they start putting the label that you are obedient, so that when that image consciousness comes, it can, it's just that quality now, because you have created an identity with that. It can become so suffocating. Something which was so nice, which was something very good, can just become so painful, because there can be times when you just can't do something what uh, somebody is saying, but and which is genuine. But because of this pressure of that image, that you are obedient, you are obedient, you how this can, make you just take away your peace of mind, and you just want to do something which maybe not even right. So that kind of pressure, this image just creates, I mean, something so nice which you were innocently doing earlier, but because people had been saying you are this, and now you want to hold on to that image because it has become you now, and you don't want to let it go. So yeah, it is a very good point to see this department of identities as what people have been saying about you, and you have just grabbed them.
Discussion, and we know that this is Ravan's kingdom, and anything that we have been doing which may be good, actually it has all been good for Ravan. Obedience is for God, Srimad, but subservience is for Ravan. And so everyone likes in Ravan's kingdom, everyone likes people who are, who do things that you tell them without asking questions. But this is a very Ravan's way. So Ravan says this quality is good, and so just hold on to it. So everything that we've been doing is unfortunately it is all wrong. But Ravan, wherever he feels it is serving me, it says yes, good, very good. Where it is not getting served, it all becomes bad. So completely ruled by Ravan's standard. This is the we'll come to this Murli. Just a short passage, maybe. It is a very long Murli, and thought to read the whole Murli, but maybe we will read it in stages. So this is the from 1985, December 2nd December. And so, what is the power that makes one free from bondages? So we see how these bondages are formed. It is not even a choice. It is like just the one who is a beggar. Beggars have no choice, right? Beggars are not choosers. They just grab whatever is given to them. So the soul in this life, it is a life of a beggar. And it has not chosen these false identities, this image. It has just grabbed it. Someone said something in your begging bowl, and you just grab it. You keep it to yourself. So you are not choosing, but you are just grabbing, collecting those false uh, good words and false bad words, whatever, good qualities and bad qualities. But it is all fake. It is all Ravans, beggars. Now, to finish that beggar, to finish those bondages, which power is required? Which power finishes bondages? What sort of intelligence do you need?
Power to discern.
Yes. Madhu? Madhu?
दी ये एक जैसे सिस्टर ने कहा कि ओबीडियंट है तो फिर अब क्या करना होता है ऐसे में व्हाट शुड वी डू
Yeah, this is a subject for next time. We will come to that in depth. Right now, the way to become free from bondage is full Ravan's intelligence. Yeah, it is the intelligence of beggar. You see, there is no intelligence. Basically, it is senselessness. So we need intelligence to come out of bondages. So even this, obedience. If there is a bondage to this image of being obedience is good. It is good. Subservience is not good. Being a slave. So this requires spiritual power, spiritual intelligence. So the highest form of spiritual intelligence, if someone is spiritually powerful, they will become free from bondages. This is the essence of the Murli. So the spiritual power is the way to become free from bondages. So today Bap Dada was looking at the power of spirituality of his spiritual children. Because all are his children, every spiritual child has claimed the full right. All are spiritual children, so every child has claimed a full right to have spiritual power from the Father. The power of spirituality, Baba is saying, seeing the power of spirituality. We say we are spiritual, we're not, people use this language, we're not religious, we are spiritual. So how is the power of spirituality? So the power of spirituality, everyone has a full right to have spiritual power from the Father. However, Baba was seeing to what extent you have become embodiments of attainment. Spiritual power, spiritual attainments. Every day, all the children call themselves spiritual children and give the return of love and remembrance to the spiritual Father, either through their lips or in their minds in the form of love, remembrance, and namaste, you do give this return, do you not? The meaning of is this, that the spiritual father calls you spiritual children every day and reminds you of the real meaning of spiritual power. The speciality of this Brahmin life is spirituality. You transform yourselves and others with the power of spirituality. The main foundation is the spiritual power. It is with this power that you receive liberation from many types of bondages. So, spiritual power. So, right now, the power of bondages, it is role-based power, it is the logic power, it is the mixing the role and soul, and so it is a power of Ravan. So against the power of Ravan, like someone who is senseless, we need sense, power of spirituality. So it is with this power that you receive liberation from many types of bondages. Bapdada was seeing that even now there are some subtle bondages which you should have been liberated from, but you are still experiencing. You are unable to put the method to attain liberation into a practical form. What is the reason for this? It is because you don't know how to use spiritual power in every action. You have to make all three, thoughts, words, and actions, powerful simultaneously. However, what is it that you become loose with? On the one hand, you make your thoughts powerful, but you become a little loose with your words. Sometimes you make your words powerful and you become a little loose with your actions. However, to make all three spiritually powerful at the same time is the way to attain liberation. Just as in order to create the world, all three tasks, creation, sustenance, and destruction, are essential. Similarly, to become free from all types of bondages, it is essential to have spiritual power in all three, thoughts, words, and actions at the same time. Sometimes you look after your mind and then something is lacking in your words. You then say, I wasn't thinking like that and I don't know why it happened. You have to pay full attention to all three. Why? All three of these methods will reveal your stage of perfection and the Father. In order to attain liberation, spirituality has to be experienced in all three. So, mind is seeing a false identity. Now we have to become free from it. So, even in words, becoming free from it, even in actions, not feeding that false identity by mistake, innocently. So the aim at all three levels is same attention. Thoughts and actions also. That's why we are making the soul's life and soul's world relevant, important, most important. So we make the role insignificant. But we are making the role insignificant at the level of thoughts, but in the level of actions, we are making it again shining light there. So then it is, then the bondage, we don't become free from the bondage. So words, thoughts, and actions, same. When we say same, it is same in this way, with the same intention, moving ahead with the same goal. So harmony between words, thoughts, words, and actions is harmony with the aim behind those thoughts and words and action. So if the aim in the mind is to take that 1 minute, make the role insignificant, make the drama insignificant, then that is also in the level of, at the level of words, let it be the same. At the level of actions, let it be the same. Yeah? I can't be doing this in my mind, but then in actions, I'm wanting something so badly in the role. Yeah? So all three of these methods will reveal your stage of perfection in the Father. In order to attain liberation, spirituality has to be experienced in all three. Those who are fully wise in all three are liberated in life. Wise, wisdom. Wisdom in words, wisdom in thoughts, and wisdom. Wisdom is spiritual power. And spiritual power is to come out of bondages. So even through words, come out of bondages. Even through the mind, coming out of bondages. Actions also coming out of bondages. So that is wisdom at all levels. So Bapdada was looking at the subtle bondages. These three also have a special connection in terms of subtle bondages. So the sign of someone in bondage is that, what is the sign? No, this is always very coincidental. Never, Murli is never read beforehand. In fact, just it is like a nice surprise, element. You just randomly search any Murli that comes up first is just chosen. And so very relevant to what we were discussing. And this happens in every session. And that is why intentionally, never ever select a Murli beforehand, because it's such a surprise that it is always connected to how the last week has been, what is being realized in the mind. So what is the sign of someone in bondage? Very relevant to what we discussed.
You will be subservient. You'll be like a slave.
Yeah, so subservient. Yeah. So when the soul is unconscious, it is living a life of a beggar. And beggars, as said, they are not choosers. Their life is whatever people give to them. So if people have given 5 rupees today, that is your life. All your meals, everything is just 5 rupees you can spend today. Someone has given 100 rupees, that is your life. Today, everyone else is deciding. So the sign of someone in bondage is that one is always influenced by others. And here, influenced by others is like influenced by where the society is going, Ravan standards. Because Baba says, keep the company of Baba, satsang, and also good quality of Brahmins. That is why Sangathan is important. So that is a different influence. That is not an influence. That is actually we can use another word for it. It is not an influence. It is a pull. You get pulled. It's like a magnet. Magnet is not influencing you. Magnet is taking you in the right direction. Baba is like a magnet. That is why he always refers to himself as a magnet. So good company is like a magnet, but a bad company, the company of Ravan, is like a bad influence. So the sign of someone in bondage is that influenced by Ravan's standards, Ravan's society, Ravan's lok laj, all of that. So someone who is in bondage and at a practical level, so influenced by others, and at a practical level, someone who is in bondage will not always experience inner happiness, nor will they have the constant experience of happiness. Because whenever someone else gives a coin, then there is happiness. If people say you're good, then you feel you're good. Otherwise, feeling is different. But the life of the soul is no matter what. Drama is drama, but you feel lucky, you feel never a victim, you feel worthy of God's company, near and dear to God. So that is the happiness. What are people saying? What is said about Ananya or the vision there? That is not a source of happiness. Yeah? But that is a source of happiness for a beggar. Someone who's in bondage, their life depends on the role. Someone who is free from bondages, his life is not, it is independent of the role. It is independent of that bondage. In the physical world, temporary facilities give you the experience of temporary happiness and joy, but there isn't the experience of internal or imperishable happiness. Similarly, souls who are tied by these subtle bondages continue to move along in this Brahmin life for a short time. Yeah? So Brahmin life is somehow being continued. It is like there is no. It is not motivation. Is not love for truth or love for God, but it is what is the basis? If bondages are there, then in the Brahmin life, what is the basis of your moving ahead?
Just sustaining their false identities.
Yes. And what do you think sustains the false identities the most? It can
Could you
also
repeat the
Mhm.
question?
Yeah.
If you could repeat the question.
Question is question. Yeah, question is if there is a lot of bondages, and so in the Brahmin life, what is the motivation to move ahead?
Fear.
Mm,
Praise.
praise. Where do you get praise from?
Appreciation,
Yes.
appreciation of the role.
Yeah.
So
And
more
how does
seva,
that happen?
more seva,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
more in
And
front.
not. Hmm. Yes. Yes. Seva is such an important subject for Brahmin. But when the life is of bondages, then the motivation is to sustain, as Jashwant Bhai said, to feed those bondages. And one way the bondages are sustained the most is through the role getting service. But if it is the soul doing the service, then you get rid of the bondages while doing service. But when it is just the role doing scenes in the drama of service, then it is like that is the motivation. Yeah? Showing up every day to the center. What is the motivation? Is it for Murli? Is it for what is Baba? Some method Baba is going to give today, or is it I am going there with a plan, with a program to to free all the Brahmin souls from their Ravan. But the motivation is, after the class there is some service. That is has to be seen. Bondage is, if the life is of bondage, then subconsciously this is how we plan, this is how we take decisions, this is how we move ahead. Yeah? And who is moving ahead? Ravan. And who is Sakyu? It is the soul. So that is the life. But life with Brahmin life is love for truth, love for God. And love for God, then it is a life of introversion, life of introversion, and also life of solitude, but not external solitude. Of course, you come into gatherings, but internally, you don't want to compromise the highest company. So souls who are tied by these bondages, subtle bondages, continue to move along in this Brahmin life for a short time on the basis of some service, the power of a gathering, power of a gathering, even how others are, yeah, just everyone is going tomorrow, so I'm going to. And then what else is the motivation? Attainment of one another, listening to experiences. Does that happen? Listening to experiences, know their experience. So that is motivation that at least someone is experiencing. So, or some elevated company, and for as long as they have these methods, means, as long as these are the means, they are able to experience happiness and joy. So if we remove service, if we remove the gathering, if we minus experiences, what are they experiencing, what is she experiencing, remove that, then is there joy to continue? Is there happiness to continue? So that it gives a real picture. However, when the means finishes or is removed, their happiness also finishes. It doesn't stay constant. Sometimes they would dance in such happiness that at that time there is no one like them. That especially happens with when the role is doing the service. It is an adrenaline rush, just like happens to anyone who is physically using the body after a game or after a match. So it's a adrenaline rush, and you just feel so happy. But it is not the happiness of the soul. It is just completely senses, the physical senses. So, however, when they come to a standstill, even a tiny stone will be experienced as a mountain. So, this is the spiritual power. The spiritual power, how do you make small things big, or spiritual power makes big things small? Okay. So, we will stop here, and next, it is a lovely movie. We will continue next time. But, checking the means. Brahmin life, love for knowledge, love for God, love for truth, or there are other means. And so always we remember beggars are not choosers. They just grab everything that is given to them. That is why Baba says that it is better to die than to beg. Yeah, because that is a different life. It is better to die, but don't beg. Don't grab what Ravan's kingdom is giving you, because it cannot give you anything. It cannot give the soul anything. So no need to take anything from them. There is no need, absolutely no need to take anything from Ravan's kingdom, not even anything that seems good, that appears good, or anything that appears like a deformation or opposition. So, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts would be, Didi, like as Baba mentioned in the Murli, thoughts, words, and actions should be same. Because when we interact with someone, when we say soul, then that consciousness should be there, that awareness should be there, that I am also a soul and I know the eternal values of soul. And based on that, I'm going to talk or coming into the action. The real I is working or not, that should be the attention. So that is the takeaway. Thank you.
Manju, then.
I had to ask that can we conclude from today's discussion that all the identities are kind of pasted upon us, thrust upon us?
No, identities are not given. It is just opinions, it's like someone who has limited view of an elephant will say, elephant is like this. But when the soul is unconscious, soul makes an identity. So it is identity. We are still responsible for the identities. It is completely we. Even there are people at a certain age or certain personalities who have been given these labels from the society, but they never made identities with it. They never took it, you know. So you even without knowledge, you can still do that. But majority of the souls are not like this. They are in full bondage, so they grab everything, and they make bondages. They make so anything that is giving role and attention, you know, whether it is someone saying she's so pretty, she's so nice, someone saying, oh, he's such a player and he's always winning games, whatever is giving role some highlight, soul grabs it, unconscious soul grabs it. This is the pattern from right from the first day. And then we want to do more of that because that is how we get that is how role gets attention. We want to continue that. So all good. We will meet again. Thank you for the very rich discussion, nice discussion, and we will meet again. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Didi. Om Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you,
It is
Didi.
good night for us. Good night.